everyone, welcome to a new video. I'm really excited about this. I love Christmas tree decorating, but before we get into it I need to say a couple of things. Number one, I'm filming this actually in January 2019, but hopefully this will be going out in November. That's when I'm planning on putting this up anyway, to be the most useful to you. So if I'm looking a bit different to my other recent videos, perhaps I've got different hair colour or something, then that'll be why. I thought I'd just get that explanation in there first. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy this video. After watching this one, please do go and have a look at my other videos to see if you'd like to subscribe and join me for more. That would be lovely to see you again. And if you're a regular, welcome. I hope this video is going to be useful to all of you. It's not like I've had training in how to decorate a Christmas tree, but I always get complimented on my tree. Therefore, after years of practice, I thought I would pass on some tips to you. That's my dog down there snoring. I'm afraid there's not much I can do about that. He's an old guy now. I just sort of have to let him get on with it, I'm afraid. So sorry about that weird noise. Also, I live by a main road, so you might get some road noise while I'm talking. By the way, the title of this video is about decorating the perfect tree. Obviously, I mean the perfect tree for you. This is my perfect tree. They're not going to be the same. We're not necessarily going to have the same style or taste, but hopefully the tips along the way will help you out. I think trees look a lot better when they're suited to the family. You know, do what you want to do, not necessarily what the magazines or the department stores are trying to tell you that you want to do. But if you decorate your tree each year and you're looking at it and thinking, oh, I want it to look a bit better than that, then hopefully this will help you out. Okay, very quickly, the real versus fake debate. I go for a fake tree. We've done a real tree a few times over the years. Sometimes we've managed to fit in a real tree somewhere else in the house, but on the whole I actually prefer the fake ones. People talk about the smell of a real tree, but the Nordmann fir, which is the most commonly bought real tree because it doesn't drop its needles, it doesn't have a scent anyway. I think the Fraser fir does have a scent, but the spikes are so sharp. It's not great for young children, and it really irritates your hands decorating the tree. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go for a fake. I bought this one from a garden centre about 15 years ago. It's still going strong, and I still get the question, is it real, when people come in? So it obviously isn't that bad. It was £80 I think at the time, so probably if you're looking for something similar quality, the price will have probably gone up since then, but I think it's worth the investment personally. Yeah, it's still going strong. I mean, obviously we lose a few of the fake needles every year, but on the whole, really good. Okay, let's start with the fairy light. Always buy more than you think you need. I go for 2 packs. I think they roughly have, oh, another quick confession. The decorations I'm about to use have not actually been the decorations I've used this year or last year. We've changed our colour scheme for the first time in years, and I'm actually about to put different ones on. So the lights I normally put on the tree are actually been used elsewhere in the house because we had different colours this year. I hope last year. This is getting a bit confusing, isn't it? Okay, so before I do the lights, a quick note about colour schemes. Last year, last year. That's not actually the colour scheme I'm going to show you because I feel I haven't built up enough decorations of those colours yet. So it's not looking, it didn't look its best. It particularly was lacking in garlands. So I'm actually going to show you the decorations that we've been doing, honestly, for the last 10 years, which has been silver and white as our base colours, and then blue or purple. Sometimes we alternate them, or sometimes we chuck it all on and do blue and purple. I think I've done that because our walls are pale blue and we have an accent colour in here of purple. We've got a chair that's purple. I think that's actually going to gradually change, but that has, yeah, we've got a purple chair. Purple cushions come out every Christmas, and so the purple fits in well as well. And it's that I'm going to be showing you today, silver with purple. If I feel it's looking a bit bare, then I'll add some blue as well. But last year I did teal and copper for the first time, with dusky pink thrown in with it. And actually the dusky pink and the copper just ended up, they blended very similarly. It didn't look like I had too many colours. I would recommend doing only 2 or 3 colours. Otherwise it might start looking a bit mishmash, unless that's what you want to go for. If you want to go for you know, an explosion of colours, then obviously do it. Don't you know, do what you want to do. Yeah, while we're on that note, if you've got space in your house for 2 trees somehow and you've got children, then I think that's the way to go if you can. For a little time we had a smaller tree in the dining room, or the porch or the hall or the landing, and we've given that tree over to the children, so they put all the colourful stuff on there. And I know that's me being precious about my Christmas tree, but that's just the way I am. I like my Christmas tree to look good. But also I want the kids to have the fun of decorating it. The kids have always helped me decorate it, and then I do the classic mum thing. Once they've gone up to bed, I sort of did the arranging. Of course they're adults now, they still help, which is lovely, but now they're more on my wavelength and they know how to do it my way. Right, back to talking about the lights. Yeah, always go more than you think. I think I use 2 packs of 240 lights. I use a set of bright white and a set of coloured, and I alternate between blue or purple depending on what year I'm doing. So I've got some purpley ones to go on this time. When you're buying your lights, look at the colour of the wire, because so obviously last year you will have wrapped your lights around a bit of cardboard so they don't get tangled, but as you see the wire is like a silvery clear colour. That works fine for us because we're going for a silvery clear theme, but if you're doing, say, red and gold or green and red, then this might look a bit out of place. So look therefore for a green to match the tree, or even black doesn't show very much because you tuck it in and it's all in the shadows. God, I feel like I've been nattering on for ages. I'm really sorry about that. Let's get on with it. So go from the bottom up, and always stand back and have a look at the gaps you might have, and to spread out the lights evenly. And that's going to be a thing throughout the whole of this video. Keep standing back, looking at it, checking everything out. And then what you want to do is tuck the wire in as much as possible. You don't need the lights on the outside of the tree to make it look good. They work better if they're tucked in, and then they shine through your baubles, and particularly if you've got glass baubles, that looks more effective. I just think that looks better than having them strung on the outside of at the end of the branches. I like to tuck them in, so that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, the next stage of decorating the tree is garlands. It is important to remember to do that next, because if you've got your baubles on first, it's almost impossible to get your garlands to look good or sit right without knocking off the baubles afterwards. So try and remember to get your garlands on next. Last year I saw a lot of people doing top to bottom garlands and big chiffon bows and things like that. For me personally, I don't really like that. I kind of feel it gives a car showroom sort of feel. I don't know, a bit too oh, sorry about my daughter's pinging me, a bit too, I don't know, professional looking. I don't really want my tree to look professional, I just want it to look good. Do you know what I mean? There's that, I kind of feel like I don't want it to look like someone else has come into the house and styled it. I want it to look a bit more natural. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But I do think garlands are important. I think they fill in the gaps really well, particularly if you've got a real tree. And towards the top you get big gaps, and I feel like the garlands can hang between the branches and fill that space with a decoration that would otherwise there'd be no way of filling that bare space. I also feel like there's just something lacking. If you just put baubles on, just to me doesn't quite look right. Also, I prefer garlands going horizontally because I think it just balances out the fact that all the others are hanging and going vertically. So garlands go horizontally on our tree just to make it feel a bit more balanced. And what I actually did was, these were in a January sale from Tesco's at 20p each, which is a bargain. By the way, this is my box of silver baubles, and I have a box down here of purple baubles. I've got these glittery wired ribbon. They're chiffon, but the wire at the edges is glittered and there's a snowflake design running through it. So these ribbons have proven perfect. They've got that nice combination of the, I don't know, like classy chiffon, but also a bit of glitter. I think it is important to get that those glittery things on the tree. I like a bit of sparkle. A bit controversial, tinsel. I do now use tinsel on the tree, but only because I found quite a classy colour. Okay, so I've got this sort of lilac-y, dusky lilac colour, and also this very icy blue colour, which I'm hoping will still work, even though I'm not planning on putting blue on the tree this time. But again, tucked at the back in between the branches, it really makes the tree sparkle. And like nothing else but tinsel really gets that look. So you'll see what I mean, it works. It will not look tacky, honestly. Okay, so that's the ribbons up. If you have any other garlands as well, put those up now. We've got a few random ones, like these pretty ones. Always remember to wrap them around cardboard when you're putting them away. Now, if you're going for a colour scheme, then a good way, particularly if you're starting a new colour scheme, a good way to do that is to buy those cheap plastic baubles that you can find in a supermarket or like B&Q or somewhere like that. They are really good for filling up the spaces and a cheap way to change your colour scheme if you really want to do that. So the best thing to do when you start, if you've bought a pack of matching baubles, is to go with those first, so you can make sure that it's just much... Oh God, the dog is snoring so loud, I'm really sorry. There's it's just much easier at the beginning to see, to be able to see where you've got evenly spaced things. So I'm going to start with some of the purple ones and the matching silver ones that I've got. Another thing you can do if you're trying a new colour scheme and you're struggling to find enough baubles in the right colour is just decorate some yourself. I got some cheap pearly white pretty baubles and just glued glitter on them, like a star-shaped glitter. And actually I did this again before we moved here, so it must have been over 10 years ago I did this, and the glitter has survived really well, so that's definitely an option if you fancy trying that out. Well, I've paused already because the next group of decorations that I've come across, I wanted to make a quick note on. These are like glittery, we've got leaves and we've got snowflakes. And I think they're quite classy looking whilst also being glittery. Again, back to wanting more glitter on my tree. But I was so pleased to find these because they are perfect for the lower half of the Christmas tree. If you've got small children that want to keep grabbing them, dogs get very waggy tails at Christmas. And of course cats do like a good Christmas bauble to tap. So if you probably want to keep your precious and expensive baubles to the top of the tree and have a good selection of like non-breakable or cheap baubles around the bottom of the tree. So if you spot ones that are not breakable but still look good, then grab them because they are very, very useful. So also wiry beaded ones are good for the bottom of the tree. Of course you don't want a tree of two halves, you still have to spread them about, but you can concentrate these a little bit more at the bottom of the tree. Okay, I should have said this right at the start, but I guess you're watching this before you decorate your whole tree, not going along with me. But before you start decorating your tree, make sure you've bought yourself a pack of wires like this. And this is from the Works, it cost 59p, and you get loads in a packet, 2 different sizes. They are, I would say, your biggest tree decorating essential. Some of the time you just get the tiny little wire at the top of baubles with no loop at all. There is just no way that's going on your tree, and sometimes the loops they provide are just too fiddly, too small. You can't be bothered with spending the time tying them. They often come with the ties but haven't tied them. Definitely get a pack of hooks. Also, the other advantage it means that it's much easier to hook a decoration further down the back of the branch. So particularly again if you've got a real tree with bigger spaces, then quite often you want to put 2 baubles on, but it doesn't quite, you can't put 2 at the end, that just doesn't look right. But you could sometimes get away with hooking one further back on the same branch as another decoration. So again, very useful. Also, if you've got a spiky tree, then these are good as well for not hurting your hands so much. Another thing I've used in the past are these, do you know what I mean when I say like little foil strands? They were very popular like early 90s for decorating a tree, and in fact that's pretty much all we had for our first Christmas tree, because we just couldn't afford to buy decorations then. So I've used them to tie my own loop for quite a lot of our baubles. Partly, it adds that little extra sparkle, and it also means you can get different levels of your baubles. So the last thing you want is baubles like getting pushed by branches underneath. That really doesn't look good, and also you don't want too many touching each other if you can help it. So yeah, having the different lengths, that just helps you out when you're decorating the tree. The other thing to mention is to try and do a variety of size of bauble. If you just have the same size round bauble on your tree and no variety, then it just gives too much of a corporate look. It's the sort of tree you might get thrown up in the corner of an office. So definitely look for variety. And I think once I've got a few more small baubles to do next, and then I will start on the dangly ones. If you've got the space, just keep storing them year after year. Maybe buy 1 or 2 special, more expensive ones each year, and then you just build up a collection. And we've had our own Christmas tree now for 23 years. So yeah, we've got some have been retired and we don't use them anymore, but it's still really nice to get out the old ones. So if you've got the space, don't just chuck them after each year. I can't believe some people do that. It just makes the tree look so much more personal and put together by a family, not by the receptionist. Do you know what I mean? I forgot I had a wooden plate of baubles in my kitchen. Right, these are going on next. I thought I was a bit short on the silver and white ones. Okay, we are nearly done, and I think I might just get this finished before we lose natural light. One last tip, I have one last box which I mark fragile. And basically I've just never let the kids do this box, well, not while they were children anyway. So if you've got any like glass decorations or ones that are just really precious to you, then perhaps put those in a separate box, and when you get the decorations out with the kids, just discreetly put them to one side and go back to them when they've gone to bed. Here's a few. Actually, these glass ones I got from IKEA many years ago. I've had those at least 12 years, I think. And then just every now and then, I think this was a random glass one I picked up in a shop somewhere. So these go on last, although that sometimes means rejigging others around, because the longer droplet ones are more difficult to find a space for, where they don't end up, you don't want them like that, you want them to hang properly. So I'll just put a few of these on, and then it's time for the star. Oh, I'll have to move your angle. Right, oh, this is exciting. Yeah, see, I'm struggling to find a space now for these. Okay guys, we are here. Let me just adjust you slightly to see the very top. A good tree topper is really hard to find. So if you see one, grab it, because we haven't been able to find one that goes with our teal and copper scheme. And also finding one that's lightweight enough, particularly if you've got a real tree. And also I'm not keen on the ones with like a spiral to put on the top. They always bend over. I mean, you can bend over the branch at the top to make it a bit sturdier, but I just never have much luck. I mean, this one's got a little loop on the back, which we sometimes try and manage to loop in the top branch there, but generally it just sits on the top like that, and it works really well. I mean, obviously it doesn't work great from all angles. I think a big fairy or an angel with a big skirt, that looks sort of better from all around the room. That's something I haven't mentioned. Always walk around the tree and look at it from different angles. So we've got a sorry, disappearing. We've got a door to my left here where we walk into the room from the kitchen, and then there's a door you can see here to walk in from the hall. So you want it to look nice from both those angles, so do keep remembering to walk around and just check that all the colours are sort of evenly spaced. So here we go, it's the moment. You stay. Ta-da! Hello Loki, it's okay, it's only me, don't wake you up. So what we've ended up with is what I think is the perfect Christmas tree. So we've got the sparkly garlands, we've got the sparkly lights obviously, and plenty of like different sizes, textures and shapes of decorations. So we've got obviously the round baubles. I'm on the lookout actually for more old-fashioned shaped baubles, you know, like more of a, like more sort of Yeah, and dangly icicle shapes look really good, and the odd fairy and ballerina as well. So there we have it. I hope this video has really helped you out if you've been a bit disappointed in the way your tree has looked in the past, and I hope I've given some inspiration and ideas. And if you've got anything to add, please do so in the comments. So that's all that's left for me to say is thank you ever so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, if it was helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe. I'd love to see you again. Thanks for watching and have a great Christmas. Bye.